Hey everybody, I am excited to do a tutorial on the Rook Quill machine. This is, I think, one of the best kept secrets in the tattoo and permanent makeup industry. So I'm really excited to introduce it to you. It's called the Rook Quill machine. It is made and engineered by a guy named Chris Sanford, who happens to live here in Vegas. And I've had the pleasure of talking to him a lot and actually meeting him, spending some time with him. And my experience with Chris is he is just a brilliant guy, super innovative, really intelligent, really knows his machines, and he manufactured and made a hell of a machine. The other thing I took away from Chris is this is his life. He's very, very proud of it, and he's very hands-on with it. His customer support of his distributors, of artists using his machine is unsurpassed. He's just a fantastic guy, and I'm really excited to get behind the Rook, get behind Chris, and be a new distributor for this great little machine. I've been using it on latex about a week, getting a feel for it, and just recently I did Kat's, my wife's eyebrows with it. Finally got it into skin, got to do some circular movements, some shoveling, some whip shading, and I just love it. I mean, I really, really, really love it. So again, excited to be a distributor for the new Rook machine. Let's go over a few features of the Rook machine. It weighs 2.5 ounces, so it's really lightweight, very light in the hand, 2.5 ounces. If you are a technician that has hand issues, carpal tunnel, arthritis, anything like that, any issues with your hands or your wrist, weight becomes very important. And technicians with hand and wrist issues need a lighter machine. So 2.5 ounces is what the Rook weighs. The other thing that I was looking for in a new machine was the grip. A lot of techs in the permanent makeup industry, they really like a smaller diameter grip. Some of the grips on the machines out there are a little bit too wide, especially if you're a technician with smaller hands. So the diameter at the grip is 16.5 millimeters. So it's just a nice small grip. If you are used to one of the digital hand pieces, this is going to feel right at home in your hand concerning weight and the smaller grip size. Now, just note, if you are someone with larger hands, this might be a little too small, a little too short, might be a little too lightweight, and the grip might be a little too small. So keep that in mind. The other cool thing I love about the Rook is the stroke setting. It's got a 3 millimeter stroke setting, and for me personally, I think 2.5, 3, up to 3.5, those are the perfect stroke settings for what we do as PMU artists. So this falls right there in the middle at 3 millimeters with the stroke setting. So that was really important to me. One of the unique things, what's really unique about the Rook, and I've never seen with another machine, is the cord, the power cord. We're used to our power cords, plugging in, an RCA cord, and some of them are a little unique, but they all plug in. Well, the Rook it doesn't plug in, it's magnetic. So when you get about here, you start feeling the force, the magnetic force, and it just slams right on there. And it's hard to, I mean, you have to use a little bit of oomph to pull it off. So it doesn't easily come off. It has stayed on nice and snug the whole time. I've had it barrier wrapped and tattooing on latex and cat. I had no issues with this coming off at all. So I really thought that was super cool. I also know that he is making a little battery pack to fit that will fit right on the coil and work with the coil. So I know that's coming. But for now, we have the cord, and it's really thin, very lightweight. It's a nice length, and that magnetic thing is pretty super cool. The other thing that's important to me when it comes to machines, because it keeps our costs down, is it takes and runs beautifully with all standard needle cartridges. So you just put your needle right in, twist, and click it in nice and tight. This happens to be a Tat Soul cartridge, but it takes the Da Vinci's. It takes all your favorite standard needle cartridges, and so that allows you to go shop and use whatever needle cartridge you like. So love that. Love that, love that. And it also works with any power box. You don't need a special power box, nothing like that. So it works with the criticals, the icons, whatever power box you like. And the only other thing really to go over feature-wise is right here. This is how you twist your needle, either retract or extend your needle. Just like a lot of the machines, you just twist it. So let's turn this on. Oop, I got the other machine turned on. I'll show you on the other machine that I'm going to plug in. But you just twist right here, and that brings your needle in or extends your needle out. So that's really super cool. Works good. Float your needle out as far as you like it. Price point. $4.49 is what he has retailed the Rook at. $4.49. So and that was wonderful to hear. And so the features that really attracted me to this machine was the smaller diameter at the grip, smaller grip, 2.5 ounces, 3 millimeter stroke setting, and priced at $4.49. It is a highly precise machine. It tattoos with a lot of precision. You feel the power in this machine, and it's super, super smooth. So let's set the machine up and let's turn it on. Actually, let me just mention this before I do that. Let's look at the two colors here. So we have pink and black, and this one is mostly pink with black ends, mostly black with pink ends. And Chris made these exclusively for me and Girlz Inc. And so this is what we're going to start out carrying on the Girlz Inc. store. These two color options, and if there's a color that if you're just not a pink and black person, and some of you not, I totally get it, but if there's a color that you wish we had, Chris told me he can make some custom colors for us. So if you want to purchase the Rook, but you're not really into pink and black, then message me. Let me know. Send me a sample of the color you like, and I will see what I can do. But great little machines, pink and black, Girlz Inc. store. These are the color options we'll be starting out offering. All right, so now let's put this over here, and let's set up the machine and turn it on. So let me zoom out for a minute so you can get a little bit better look. Okay, so my magnet is in, and it's plugged into my critical. And we use a clip cord cover and bring it all up, put some grip tape and all that good stuff. But before you do that, remember, you have to set your needle stroke. If you bring the cord cover up, insert your needle in, grip tape it, then you can't adjust your needle length. So always put your needle in first, turn on the machine, and you can hear it. Let me stop talking. Right? So it's got a nice little sound, but it's not loud at all. It's loud enough without being too loud. I think machines should have a little noise. I don't want them to be loud and obnoxious, but I certainly want them to have a little noise. So this fits that perfectly. When our machines have a little noise, then it can talk to us, right? We listen to our machine. When we're too deep in the skin, the machine will bog up. It will get deeper in tone. You'll hear it, and that will alert you that you're a little too deep. When you're too shallow, the noise of the machine will be a little bit higher, a little bit more tinny, and that will alert you that you're too shallow. When you find that perfect depth, you will learn what the machine sounds like when you are at that perfect depth. So having a little noise to our machine, I think, is really important because it allows our machine to talk to us. We can listen to the machine. The machine guides us by its noise, how it's sounding. Now, and also the vibration. The vibration is of concern to a lot of people, and there is not a lot of vibration. It's moderately you feel the vibration, I would say, on the moderate side, right? It's not, I wouldn't call it low, like you can't feel anything, and it's certainly not high where, your fingers are going to go numb or it's going to bother you. But I think a little vibration to the machine is important as well. That allows us to feel where we are depth-wise in the skin. So having a little noise, having a little vibration to our machine allows us to learn our machine and know where we are in the skin depth-wise. So anyway, once you get your needle in, remember you turn this to find your perfect depth. Turning it to the right brings the needle in. Turning it to the left extends that needle out. And I like a nice good float on my needle. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. But out 3 millimeters, I would say, I like a nice good float on my needle. If this is a little too far out for you, well, then bring it back a little bit. So, important. Click your needle in. Play with the adjuster right here. Get it set to your perfect needle length. Take it out. Bring your clip cord sleeve over the tip of the machine, and as you see, like right here, let me see if I can show you, I pre-poke a little hole in my clip cord cover, and then I take my needle and I put it right down in there and twist, and give it a good twist. Make sure it's in there, run it, make sure your needle float is exactly where you set it and you want it. It is. Once that's, and what that does by poking a little hole, keeps your clip cord cover, from slipping back. And then the last step I like to do is I like to put a little grip tape, and of course it's pink. So I like to wrap that up. And what this does, it gives a nice cushion to the grip area, and it makes it not slippery. When you're just grabbing, there you go. When you're just grabbing the bagging, the clip cord cover, well, it's slippery. So what grip tape does, it's super cheap, is it just makes it nice and spongy, nice and grippy, gives you a nice good grip. There's no slippage. Your fingers aren't going to slip off. It's really, really cool. So there you go. So now your machine, it's all barrier wrapped. It's all nice and protected. And you can see, look at me go. Like that end cap, that magnetic cord is not going to come off. I mean, it just doesn't come off easily at all. So don't worry about that. I did have a little bit of concern about that. I was wondering, but I shook it, I did all that, and it stays on really, really nice. Now, let's go to the power box. One thing that Chris explained to me about this machine, and I really like this, is you can have your machine, look how low that is, 5.7 on, it kicks right on. Right? So you can have a super low setting and this machine kicks right on. Doesn't need to be jump started. You don't need the little lightning setting or jump start setting on your power box. Just clicks right on, and he designed it and engineered the machine that way specifically. And in PMU, that's really important because a lot of artists run their machines really low because they like to do single needle whip shading. And so nice and low, machine starts perfect every single time. And then of course, start bringing your numbers up, and it runs, you know, fantastic at 6.5. Start bringing it up, and it's just nice and smooth. It's super smooth, and it's super precise, and it just feels really good in my hand. I feel like I've got control and the kind of grip that I want with a machine. So this is going to be a machine that I personally use in my daily procedures once we all get back to work. I mean, for sure. I really, really love it. So, and then when you tattoo with it, let's get some latex out here. Let's flip it over. And it's just really, really nice. Let's get some pigment out, and I'll even do that a little bit. Shake some pigment up. All right. All right. Okay. Let's dip a little bit. All right, latex. Let's do some circular movements. And it's just nice and smooth. Like I said, I did cat's eyebrows, and I just loved it. It didn't snag, no snagging. It felt really super smooth. I felt a lot of power. I really, really enjoyed this machine a lot. So I'm excited to really get back to work like the rest of you. I have a 5 shader in here, so you can see it's just nice, really nice. You want to do shoveling movements, it's great for, you know, shoveling movements, pointillism, you know, whatever movement you like to do, whatever floats your boat. So there you go. And of course I ran it with, you know, a single needle, and I did some whip shading in Kat's bulb area, and it ran fantastic. So, and I put a mag in it. I didn't take a mag to skin yet, but I put a big 11 mag and got on a practice pad for a couple hours, and you can run this machine for a good long time. It didn't heat up or anything like that. So, so far, I have to tell you, I have no complaints, and I just can't find any faults or anything negative with this machine. Not personally, not so far at all. So I think it's a really great little machine. So again, we got the Rook. Let me move that over. We got the Rook machine, and I don't know, is it gonna clear up? Let's see, no, maybe that's a little bit too close. All right, Rook machine, 2.5 ounces, 3 millimeter stroke setting, 16.5 diameter at the grip, and a really super cool magnetic cord the cord comes with it. That's included in the $449 price. Of course, it has a 1-year warranty on the machine, and what's super cool is, you know, when you purchase this from us, if you know, the machine maker lives right here in Vegas, and that is very convenient for both me, for Chris the machine maker, and for our customers. So he's been up the studio already, And we're both very excited to come together and sell some rooks, teach you all about it, support you on it, and watch you go out and do some beautiful, beautiful work with the rook. There are a lot of artists in our industry currently using it, and they're doing lips, brows, areolas, eyeliners, and the reviews are in. I've personally messaged some of these artists. Many of them I don't know. I just reached out, messaged them. I want to know how they like the look, the rook, how it was tattooing, how it was implanting pigment for them, and I just wanted some honest feedback from artists that have purchased it and are out using it, and the feedback was 100% positive. It just seems like everybody I have spoken to that has purchased the rook, it was a real good buy, and they love it. Okay, that wraps up the tutorial on the rook. If you have any questions, please email us at info@girlzinc.com, info@girlzinc.com, where you can message us on Facebook or our Instagram, Girlz Inc. Studio, at Girlz Inc. Studio on Instagram. And all right, you guys, thanks for tuning in.